Hello, beautiful people. I hope that you're doing good today because, oh boy, the topic of today's video. Today's topic was motivated due to one of Riot's posts, League of Legends. I don't know which account posted it, but it was basically a black creator that was featured because she was cosplaying Jinx. And even though this was in November of 2022 and I wasn't able to film a video in the meantime, I still wanted to talk about the topic because I think that it is very important. So yeah, I am basically sure that if you're a fan of League of Legends and Riot, and if you actually follow them on social media, this did not go under your radar. They started to feature several cosplayers, and Animako Cosplay was featured as Jinx, and because of obvious reasons, she was backed with hate. I'm not saying obvious because she should be receiving hate, but rather because of her physical appearance, okay? After I saw that post, I decided that I wanted to make this video because it is real. This is real, and this happens too often for us to just turn our eyes around, turn our head around, and we really need to talk about this. Now, of course, that I have been seeing a lot of this happen, mostly on TikTok actually, and I wanted to finally give my 2 cents on this and try to help at least someone understand at least and be a little bit more respectful. So yes, I decided to make this video. This was motivated by that, but I know that this has been happening for a long time, and actually I think that is getting very much worse. So yeah, let's go. First of all, I just wanted to give you the description of what cosplay is. By the Wikipedia, cosplay is an activity and performance art in which participants called cosplayers wear costumes and fashion accessories to represent a specific character. Favorite sources include anime, cartoons, comic books, manga, television series, and video games. The term is composed of the 2 mentioned counterparts, costume and roleplay. I also wanted to add the description of the Urban Dictionary, and it is costume play. Just literally costume play, dressing up and pretending to be a fictional character, usually a sci-fi comic book or anime character. I know that this latest description was very short, but sometimes less is better. And what did we see in common within these 2 descriptions? Dressing up as a fictional character. Okay, this is very important, fictional character. Now I just want to add a little bit of my opinion on what cosplay is for me. For me, cosplay is a form of art, so we create our cosplays within what we have, either monetarily and within our capabilities of constructing the cosplay itself. And a lot of times, cosplayers actually do alternative versions of said characters, and this happens very, very often, and everyone is used to doing it. Cosplay is not the only community which does this. The art community constantly makes alternative versions of characters. They can just change their clothes, they can just change, I don't know, their hair, whatever. But this exists, and this is very common, and people actually like it. So why can artists draw characters differently, and why can cosplays actually making alternative versions? But when it comes to a certain groups, now in this case people of color, why can they not, for example, use their own hair to cosplay? Why do they have to be bashed because they don't have the right color of the character? And let's not forget that we, talking on my case specifically, I am European, and most anime characters are not European, so where is this coming from? Now, if you're a cosplay fan, we can agree on something. You do at least one of these things. You read manga, you watch anime, you play video games, you're a diehard fan of comics, you do one of this. And we cannot deny that the representation, it's not very broad. It is better than what it used to, and I never had a problem with this. I never really thought about this that much, but this is a reality. I have a lot of representation on what it's European people. By the way, I'm talking about European because I'm European, and you might be thinking, so why am I talking about this? I've come to realize over the years that a lot of people actually do. And this is a real problem, not the representation itself, but the lack of it and what that causes. And I actually came to the realization that this is a first world problem, but it doesn't mean that it isn't important. Not only because of the cosplay itself and the community, but because respect is a basic thing that we all should have to each other and to ourselves. So yeah, basically, and I'm focusing on anime and maybe video games. The majority of the characters that we see are usually light-skinned. They are very thin, but with a lot of curves on the female side, and on the male side, they either go for the strong and muscular guy or for the very cute face one, which looks like it's 16 years old, but it's actually 30. I'm just focusing on the pop culture media type of content. Now, I'm not going to say that we don't have different type of representation, of course that we have, but take a look at it a couple of years ago, maybe not a couple of years ago, but like 10 years ago, and we can see that it has improved because characters were portrayed in a very misleading and wrong, and honestly, wrong form. Moving on. We can clearly see how black people were designed on the Japanese media. These are a couple of images from some old animes. Although these characters are fairly old, and some more recent ones being completely different and, in my opinion, more accurate, I think that we can agree that there aren't many black characters, at least compared to the other side. And once again, this was never a problem for me, but listening to every other creator, I realized that yes, this is a problem. This is a problem for them. And I don't think that it is just about representation, because they are cosplayers. They can cosplay whichever character that they want, and they can choose to only cosplay black characters, which are not that many, so they cannot cosplay a lot of characters, but they shouldn't just stay within their ethnicity. It doesn't make sense. If I want to cosplay, let's say, Echo from League of Legends, I love that character. I think that he's really badass and he's a sweetheart. And I would love to one day cosplay as Echo, but I cannot because he's not of my ethnicity. Would I be best for it? I honestly don't think so. And if I did, I don't think that it will be that much hate as within a POC person. A POC person, people of color person. This doesn't make sense, but you understand, right? I already got over myself by saying what I said previously, but basically, we should not contain ourselves to our own ethnicity, because that doesn't make sense. We can love several characters, no matter what their ethnicity, characteristics, personality is. So we can have love for a lot of characters, and we should be able to cosplay whoever we want. Like, for example, we may like a badass man, we may like a damsel in distress, we may like a pink alien and a magical girl, and we might want to cosplay all of them. And we shouldn't be similar to them, either physically or personality-wise. For example, I do tend to cosplay more cute characters because I feel way more comfortable as them, but I also want to cosplay other types of characters, even though I don't do it that often, for example. And once again, Jinx. I love Jinx, even though it's not my personality. I really wanted to try to portray her, and I think I did. At least I liked how I did it. Yeah, we don't even have to cosplay a character from the same genre. I don't know how to say it in English. Whatever. We do not have to stay within our genre. We can be whatever we want as cosplayers. And this leads me to my next topic. I never had a problem with the cosplays that I did, ever. No one ever said I shouldn't do this or that. This is probably because the characters that I choose are quite common, and a lot of people like me physically are cosplaying. But I know for a fact that gender bend is something very common, which is changing the gender of the character. Crossplay is also super common, which once again, it is cosplaying a character of the opposite sex of the cosplayer itself. And again, aging certain characters and doing non-safe for work versions of it are okay, at least in the majority or a lot of people in the community accept it. So why do, once again, black cosplayers cosplaying as white characters? It's wrong. Like, I don't understand it. For me, it will be much worse to make a lewd version of certain characters than to cosplay as someone as a different ethnicity. And I'm not saying that lewd cosplay is wrong. I'm not saying that I am actually a fan of the art. But this is just my point. So why is it acceptable for someone to lewd a certain character, but it is not okay for you to cosplay a character which is not the same color as you? It doesn't make sense. It's two opposites. Like, one, you're doing it on purpose, and the other one, it's like you cannot do anything about it. You just can't. And we cannot forget that we are talking about fictional characters. This is what pisses me off the most. We are doing all of this because of people that don't even exist. We are hating on creators. We are doing a lot to their mental health because of fictional characters. Now, what can we do as a community to fix this? Is it for people of color to literally change their color for certain cosplays? Because if it was the contrary, and we already know that, if it was white people painting themselves as black, it would be awful. No one likes that. No one. That's racist. That's racist. So do we expect black cosplayers to paint their face white? That's not the solution. It is not. It would be racist also. Or let's think it's the option for them to be banned of the hobby. Does it make sense? Think about it. Does it make sense to gatekeep characters and a community from people that have zero blame in how their physical characteristics are? Neither of this makes sense, right? If you don't agree with me, please click off the video now. They put the exact amount of effort, or even more, into their cosplays. They put their heart and soul into the characters, and what do they receive? Hate comments saying Nezuko ain't black? Humanity has fought so hard for equality, and yet here we are, forbidding POC of enjoying an art form, an hobby. Like, what is the point in doing this? This doesn't affect others in any way. It actually gives it more visibility. Like, me as a cosplayer, I love for people to know what cosplay is, and I love for people to try it out, and I want the community to grow. So why should I gatekeep certain people if I want this to grow? POC, cosplaying, doesn't affect me in any way, at least not in a negative way. So why aren't we supporting them also? And I know that some people might use the argument, oh, but they're changing their hair texture. Well, yeah, as I said plenty of times on this video already, we can actually change the details of the character. Changing their clothes, changing their hair, changing one of the character's hobbies, for example. Like, if I really like roller skating, I can just make ball roller skates. If I have a problem in my feet and I cannot wear heels, I'm not going to a convention wearing heels, risking of having to go to the hospital afterwards. It doesn't make sense. If I already have a white wig and I want to cosplay a character that doesn't have bangs but my wig has, I shouldn't have to buy a new wig. It doesn't make sense to spend more money just because of that. And let's say if I am not comfortable wearing, and let's use a very specific cosplay here, a Shuten cosplay for convention, can I not change anything about it? Can I not wear a top under the actual cosplay, or safety shorts, for example? Like, we can do all of this. We should feel comfortable and safe on our cosplays. So the fact that black cosplayers cannot use their own hair to cosplay a character, I swear this is something that I cannot comprehend. I know that I'm rambling a lot and I'm thinking about what I'm saying a lot, and I know that I went overboard with my script and I didn't say things that I actually wanted to say. I'm sorry, I'm not very used to it yet. But yes, moving to the next topic. Considering that a lot of people are okay with sharing their racist thoughts on social media, we can actually see what the power of anonymity actually does. It is really sad that people have to deal with comments like this. And this is just one post. One person, one post. So let's be honest here. Would you actually comment this on someone's face? Would you be racist in front of someone? Most likely not. People tend to hurt others on social media because they do not see the real effect that their words actually have on people. They forget that there is a real person behind the other side. And I am pretty sure that the same thing happened to the hater. They will be crying all over. It is very unfortunate that people cannot see and cannot understand the mistake that they are making unless it is happening right in front of their eyes. And I think that social media in general should be a little bit better in trying to understand what type of comments are going under the creators' posts. Creators, not only creators, people in general actually, because hate is everywhere, not just within the cosplay community. I do think that social media is a very big problem within the racism in the cosplay community. People stop cosplaying because they are made fun of, criticized, or even worse. Is that really what we want? Do we want to lose cosplayers and on something that we desperately want to grow? I still remember how small the cosplay community was just a couple of years ago compared to now, and I am more than happy to see more people joining this hobby and to share their actual art form. So why are people gatekeeping it? It doesn't make sense. Why are people excluding others from, first of all, a hobby and from something that we want to grow? It doesn't make sense. Let's be honest. It is impossible to end racism, but we can always try to make something about it. If you ever see someone getting hated in front of you and you feel comfortable in actually stepping up for them, please do so. Whatever they are, if you feel like what's happening isn't fair, please do something. Go to them and ask them if they're okay. Take them out of that situation. You don't even have to respond. You just grab their arms and just take them out of the situation. This is not a very hard thing to do, and the person who is actually doing the harm will understand that it is not okay, it is not normal, and we are not going to support this type of behavior, because not doing anything only makes it able to continue to happen. If you like a cosplayer, a cosplay that they did, whatever, just say so. This really helps because they might be constantly getting hate messages, but not a lot of comforting ones. So you're just saying that you love their cosplay might actually help them to, for example, not give up on the art form itself. Now, at the end of the day, this is a very big problem that social media just expanded, and we need to talk and spread awareness about this, and we actually need to start doing something about it. It is not normal. It is not okay to just hurt people because they're not the same color as us. Because if we don't do anything, the problem is only going to keep on growing. So if you thought that this video was helpful in any way, please consider sharing it to someone who might need to see it. My ultimate goal with this is to just start a conversation. And if I change one person's mind for the better, then my work here is done. Please share your thoughts, opinions, and experiences down below. We really need to further this conversation and find solutions, act on it. And lastly, if you'd like to hear more about this type of topics, please comment down below. Tell me which topics you want me to talk about. And I'm sorry if this seemed a little rushed and if I missed some things. This is one of my first videos and I'm not used to doing commentary type of videos. So yeah, please be gentle and I will try to improve on my next video. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!